Today we are making crackers. If you've never made them before, they're very popular in the UK and Ireland, and people usually have them on for Christmas dinner. But I thought that maybe we could use them to wrap up gifts. And of course, if you live in the UK and Ireland, you can make your own. I started with craft paper, just wrapping paper, and I cut a big piece, a big chunk of it, and I'm gonna fold it in half, and then I'm gonna cut it down to 12 by 12 inches or 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters approximately. So this is my first tip for you. If you keep your paper in a roll, if you roll it the other way around, it will naturally roll up too. And roll it very tight and hold it for a few seconds. Once you let it go, it will probably lie flat like here. And then it's easier to work with it. Now, as I said, I'm folding it in half so I can cut two pieces of 12 by 12. I'm using my paper trimmer. I am kind of measuring it off screen because it's so big I couldn't really fit it into the screen. So I'm gonna cut the sides there are loose first, and then the side that it's the fold, I'm gonna leave it for the end. It's gonna be the last side I'm gonna cut. By the way, I'm currently in the countryside with my parents, so if you hear all kinds of noises like cicadas, roosters, dogs barking, and all that stuff, that's why. And I'm gonna be here for a while. I didn't really bring much craft supplies, so this might be my last crafty video for a few weeks. I do have something planned for New Year's, and then I should be back to the capital of my state. We are going to score at 2, 2.5, and 3 inches. Turn it around and score it again, the same measurements on the other side. This is how I made mine, and you see that it won't close fully when you roll it. So I am giving you alternate measurements if you want it to close. So you could score at 2, 3, and 4 inches on both sides. And that will make sure that it closes when you roll it up. Then we're going to fold concertina style. Doesn't matter which direction you fold first. In my case, because my paper looks the same both sides, you just need to make sure that the two sides that you fold, that you start the first fold in the same direction, if that makes sense. So at the end, you are going to have an M, a letter M on one side, and a letter W on the opposite end, like here. And we are going to open that. I'll show you better in a second. And we are going to cut along that center line. Now I'm using these scissors, but you could use any scissors you have. We're gonna leave a tiny space, cut off a triangle, leave a tiny space, a second triangle, and so on and so forth. We're going to do that along the whole thing. Now, I just want to show you which line you want. If you look at it this way, it's going to be the line that is coming down. But because we scored the 3 lines, just remember it's the center one. And I am just folding the other sides back because it makes it easier. And I sped this up because you don't need to see it in detail. If you have any doubts, you can always slow it down. Just going along the whole line. And there's no measurement, there's no right or wrong, you're just removing triangles, and that's it. I'll show you here how it looks once it's done. When you're done both sides, this is what's gonna look like. And if you keep them like this with the center line up, that's how you're gonna roll it, with the center line to the inside. And it's gonna look a bit like candy, wrapped candy. And as you can see, mine doesn't close in the center, but because I'm going to use whatever I wrap it in a bag or a bigger item, that space in the center will make no difference. It will hold it together. I made 2 of them off camera like this, and now I'm gonna show you the smaller size. For that, we're gonna start with a 6 by 6 piece of cardstock. I have just a silver piece of paper. It's not even cardstock. And I'm scoring at 1, 1 1/4, and 1 1/2 but then I'm showing you also the alternative measurements. And then we turn it around 180 degrees, do the same foldings, the same score lines on the other side. And everything here is the same as before. So we folded concertina style. I am using my bond folder to reinforce this one because the craft paper, it's easier, I guess, to fold than this one. This one is very sleek. And I'm gonna do exactly the same thing. Cut the inner line, the center line, cut the triangles off both sides, and then roll it, and it's done. After you have all the triangles cut off from both sides, then you can just decorate it however you want. And bear in mind, I am using plain paper here, but you could use printed paper, pattern paper. You could use anything you have in your stash. You could use even gift wrapping paper. It's just like very flimsy, so I would reinforce it later with something else. I'll show you some ideas. I just want to take the time to also tell you that I'm not gonna share any more holiday crafts or cards, but I am thinking about sharing a video showing you where my parents live. They live in a piece of heaven in the middle of nowhere. And it's gorgeous here. It's stunning. Now it's spring, so it's all green, and oh my goodness, the life here, it's so noisy. It's so beautiful. It's so pretty. I love it here. So I'm thinking of maybe recording a video showing you a little bit around. This is our smaller cracker, and I'll show you how I decorate all three of them. Very quick and easy. All of them are very, very easy to make. For the smaller one, I would use like a necklace, jewelry, and I would put it in a small cellophane bag or wrap it around with maybe tissue paper as well, and then just put it on the inside. Now, to decorate, make sure that you decorate it before you wrap it up. But after you decorate it, make sure that you have your item inside before you tie it together. I'll point that out to you in a second. For this one, I just chose a stencil, and I'm using some gold pigment ink, and I'm trying to pounce it more than swirl it around because the details are very intricate, and I broke some of the detail at the end, where I'm very heavy-handed, so that might be my fault. I can't recommend you this stencil because I bought it exactly like this, with no brand, no reference whatsoever, in a craft fair here in Brazil a few weeks ago. But you could use any stencils really. I was in a hurry this week because my dad decided that he wanted to come back home and like very quickly. So I thought, what could be the quickest craft idea that I could use to create a video for you that would be also interesting and useful. I don't know you, but I'm actually getting into the phase of decorating the house for Christmas. I'm gonna help my mom these days, and also I have to start wrapping the gifts soon. And I thought this would be a very cute idea. So I'm adding a few Merry Christmas stamps along the edges. I am spacing them out just to make sure that I do have one of them visible once I roll it, because I don't know yet what I'm gonna put inside. And then I have this gold string. I'm gonna cut a reasonable piece and I'm gonna use my reverse tweezers to hold the paper in place just while I tied it. If you don't have reverse tweezers, I do recommend them. They help a lot. They will free up your hands so you can do other things. I also bought these decorations, Christmas decorations, and I thought I would put them along the edge, but you really don't need to do it. If you do want to do it, this would be the way. You would pass the string around, put one of the decorations inside. I thought the gift one would be suited for a gift and tie it into a bowl. Then we do exactly the same thing on the other side. And to me, it looks exactly like wrapped candy. That's what it makes me think of. And if you watched my videos before, you know this is the easiest version, and then we complicate it from here on. So for the second one, I'm gonna start almost the same, but I have this scrap of pearl vellum paper, and I'm gonna roll this t-shirt inside. I'm gonna fold it narrower, actually narrower than I'm showing you here, and it has to be kind of the width of the inside piece, which would be around 6 inches. And then I'm gonna roll it around the t-shirt, and this one I'm gonna decorate it afterwards, but I'm not gonna stamp on it, so it's okay. I found this twine, and I'm gonna cut some 2 pieces, tie the 2 around the 2 areas with the cut off shape. Once you tie the 2 bows, you are free to decorate the center area as much as you want, however you want. For this one, I'm just going to cut the piece of pearlized vellum. I am kind of measuring, but I noticed that it is a bit shorter than I wanted to, and I'm gonna use it anyway. No one will see. There's this tiny strip on the back missing. For this one, it will actually be easier because I'm going to stick it down just along the area before and after the opening. That will make it easier when people have to actually open this. As usual, you can see I'm not really measuring anything with a ruler. I just put it down and kind of fold a little bit where I need to cut, and then I cut it along with the scissors. And then I'm gonna add some liquid glue on the back of the edges of this vellum. I'm gonna place it where I want it, just to make sure that it's not gonna get any bubbles, it's not gonna be crooked or anything. And I'm gonna add a line of glue here on the side and a line of glue on the other side. Press it down, hold it until the glue dries, and that's it. Now I'm gonna add this poinsettia off screen. I added some ink blending to the center, and I die cut some more pieces than I needed to. This one is a die set, another die set from Altenew. I'm just gonna fold a little bit along the center lines, and then I'm gonna glue them down, alternating those leaves, and it's gonna look very full. There's going to be a lot of dimension just from folding those lines. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm folding with my fingers, as you can see, adding a dot of glue in the back, pressing it down for a few seconds, and alternating them. At the end, I'm going to add some gold pearls, half pearls, to the center. You can add several, like I'm doing to this one, or add just one big one to the center, like I'm gonna do with the next poinsettia. Again, I'm using poinsettias here, but you could use anything you want, like Christmas lights, anything really. The sky is the limit. But because poinsettias are common in all the countries I've been to around the holidays, I think it's a more suited decoration choice for me. As I said, it's Christmas is during summer in Brazil, so it's very, very hot, and snow-themed stuff is not really very suited here. Okay, for the next one, I'm using this ivory cardstock. It's 260 GSM. I bought it at Eason in Dublin, but if you live anywhere in Ireland, you can probably find it. It has some texture, which I love, and I just cut it down to 15 centimeters or 3 inches, which is the center space for the smaller cracker. And I'm gonna emboss it and add some texture, add some interest to it. This is another option that you could do. You could add anything you want, really, to decorate it. And I'm keeping mine quick and easy, as I said, because I didn't have much time to work on them. But it also means that you can do it for those last minute gifts that you need to wrap, and then you usually don't have that much time left to do so. So I'm starting the same way as before. I am holding them with my reverse tweezers, both sides, and then I'm gonna tie that twine. And before I forget, I just wanted to say that I would love if you would consider subscribing to my channel. I have loads of ideas for next year, for new videos, new interactive designs, and things that you can easily create at home with whatever you have in your stash. So if that's your kind of thing, please consider subscribing. Here's the embossing folder I'm going to use. It's the same one with the poinsettias that I have been using in the past videos. I love this one and I thought it would go well with the poinsettia that I'm going to add to my cracker later. And it's very quick and easy. It adds so much texture and interest. This one I made it longer than I needed it to be because I wanted to measure afterwards, and I'm gonna do it a little bit different from the previous one. This one I'm gonna cut it long enough to overlap the two ends. And again, I'm measuring it, just fold it, I just mark it, and then I fold it and I cut along the line, and that will give me the size that I need. For this one, I added double-sided adhesive to show you that you can use any adhesive that you want, but I actually prefer the glue. This dry adhesive, when you're using texture on top of texture, because the two sides will overlap, it doesn't really want to stick that well. So, as I said, learn from my mistakes and don't do this. I think the double-sided adhesive would have worked better for the vellum, and this one, the liquid glue, would have been better. But I made it work. It's just that if you move it around a lot, it's not gonna stay. It will come off. Or maybe my double-sided adhesive is not as good. Maybe you have a better one than mine. For the green pieces of the poinsettia, I did add ink blending in the center as well. But the other ones, I just used vellum, the same pearlized vellum as the other one. And I didn't add any color to this one. I'm once again alternating those petals, those leaves, sorry. And I'm adding just a silver detail. The silver matches the paper that I used for the cracker. I'm gonna add some glue, add half pearl to the center. Only one because this poinsettia is smaller than the previous one. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this holiday series. I hope these ideas were useful to you. Remember that you can always reach me out in the comments or on Instagram. I have my contacts linked below. I will try to add the supply list for this video from memory or I'll do a bit of research. But this is all from me for now. If I don't see you around for my next video, I would like to wish you all the best during this holiday season for you and your family. And I'm sending you all my love from very far away, I imagine. And my whole family, my husband, my mom and my dad also send their love. I am beyond thankful for all of you. See you soon. Happy crafting. Bye.